Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? It's your boy. No, I'm not saying. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I hope all of you enjoyed that last video that we put out. In this video, you'll get to hear the conversations we had in the Me Too group and the Black Lives Matter group. Let's take a look.
I feel like the general attitude towards women in society, it's always been very regressive and very downgraded. To me, as someone who's gone into the workplace, gone into different areas, I think the Me Too movement made me really aware about sexual harassment and how prevalent it is in so many different scenarios. And the fact that it's not direct, sometimes it's very indirect. So for me, the main problem is being able to categorize sexual assault. And I feel like a lot of young people and a lot of young women, they don't necessarily understand what sexual harassment can be. Sometimes it can be a comment, sometimes it can be, inappropriate touching, and it can be really, I would say, sort of sly from the perpetrator. So sometimes it comes to the fact that some people don't even recognize that they've been assaulted. I feel like there needs to be a big cultural change in terms of women not feeling scared to speak out on certain issues, because I feel like with sexual harassment, that's such a taboo topic. There needs to be a bigger shift from both genders. So women need to start speaking up more, and men in general, they need to become more chivalrous.
So about what she was saying about how I think people men need to be made more aware. I feel like they don't understand what is categorized as sexual harassment and sexual assault. Little stuff like touching, comments made, or catcalling. Because me myself, I thought catcalling was such a normalized thing. All girls go through it. I didn't really think it was sexual harassment.
I'm just going to touch on that real quick. What about them ladies that don't mind a catcall?
How does a man know who does, I suppose? So there's an assumption if somebody is going to do that, they're making an assumption that that's okay and that someone's not going to be offended by that, and actually that people need the education to be aware that that's not always appropriate. I was thinking about the broader conversation as well. I think there's probably a kind of issue here where some people just don't necessarily have the emotional intelligence or the ability to understand what's appropriate as a conversation and what's not, because you can move from a lonely old man having a conversation with someone because they're lonely to, can be very quickly on the spectrum of this is inappropriate, I feel like I don't want to have a conversation with you.
So firstly, I completely agree with what you're saying about education, and that education needs to start really early. I would, if it's not in the year 7 or 8, it's got to be to that age before they start forming opinions which are wrong. I absolutely get the story that you've just told about someone who's reluctant to come to the police because it takes too long, because it's too disturbing and harrowing for them. They don't want to revisit what has happened. From our perspective, we absolutely get that, but we would want everyone to come to us.
Would you say that the cause of racial equality has or has not been advanced by the Black Lives Matter movement?
I think I'm Sharon, by the way. I think in some aspects it's really good at raising awareness with the Black Lives Matter movement. It was kind of everywhere. People became aware of unconscious biases and implicit biases and how Black people are treated in society. So for individual cases, I think it was good. But on a global scale, don't think it was that great, because there was a lot of violence which is turning off more centre or moderate people off.
Thanks, Sharon. That's such a good insight. Does anyone agree with Sharon? Anyone add anything? Anyone disagree?
I personally agree with some of what Sharon said. I do think that it was very beneficial for awareness, and it started a lot of conversations that weren't being had before. I also do agree with the fact that there are stems of the Black Lives Matter movement that are quite radical, but I feel like that's with any movement ever. With literally even the feminist movement, there are radical feminists.
I'm not sure if I would personally call the abolishment of the police movement radical. I know that some people took the stance of get rid of them because they're all horrible, but I think the actual meaning behind it got lost, as in we should fund services that are more specific and more suited to dealing with tailored support and solutions.
Thank you. That was very insightful as well. Good. I think we've got a good set of opinions here. Does anyone else want to add anything?
This is Nadia Hussain speaking, one of the deputy young mayors of Tower Hamlets. I'd also like to add that it's not just the duty of Black youth and Black people to be educating others. I think what happens quite frequently is people look towards their Black friends and stuff, expecting us to be there with an encyclopedia of knowledge towards situations when we can't, as people, have that. And also us to people, say a boy in my class will say the N-word, all heads will turn to me for me to tell him off, when really, if you're all looking at me, then you should all know what you need to do in the situation. A boy upon me to suddenly go off on this boy.
Thank you so much. And that's why we're here, and that's what we've been doing today. I'm going to leave you with this, and this touches on what you said. Martin Luther King used this phrase: if we are not happy, I am not happy. I live for it. That's the whole point. That's everything we've discussed. If the we is not happy, then the I cannot be happy. So we must move forward in everything that we've learned here today. Keep on sharing. Leaders in community, you know where to find us. This is what we do.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Do you guys like the conversations? Be honest, come on. If you want more like this, make sure you leave a comment, drop a like, and follow us on all our socials. Share with your friends and family. I'll see you later. Peace!